opening crawl of this movie is pointless since it takes place right after The Force Awakens. After losing their huge battle station, the First Order is now in control of the galaxy? That makes sense.
Can he hear me? Hogs? He can. With an H? Skinny guy?
It's a long and forced joke that undermines the credibility of Ox.
Captain Kennedy, why aren't you blasting that puny ship?
That puny ship is too small and to too close range.
Whoever designed this ship should be fired.
Get away!
Disengage now.
Commander, that is an order.
He cut off communication, but Leia can communicate with somebody else to tell them not to follow Poe, right? This was supposed to be funny. Luke Skywalker did to that lightsaber what Rian Johnson did to the script of The Force Awakens.
Tied on a string indeed, General Hux. Well done.
Later on, we'll learn that the device that can track through lightspeed isn't Snoke's ship, and yet Snoke is not aware of its existence.
The deed split your spirit to the bone. You were unbalanced. Bested by a girl who had never held a lightsaber. You failed!
Snoke tries to explain the stupid ending of The Force Awakens.
Alas, you're no Vader.
I'm glad they didn't throw out of the window the whole Vader obsession stuff, but they have yet explained why they disregard the fact that Vader ended up being a good guy. Ben should know that information.
No light left in Kylo Ren. He's only getting stronger.
How can you say that? You beat him last time.
Think what? I'm gonna walk out with a laser sword and face down the whole First Order?
It's not a good thing when a character pointed out that the plot of an entire movie doesn't make sense. Somehow, this scene made it to the final cut.
The Resistance sent me.
They sent you. What's special about you?
And again, Luke pointed out that the movie doesn't make sense, as there's really no reason to send Rey and only Rey.
Nowhere.
No one's from nowhere.
Jakku.
Alright, that is pretty much nowhere.
Another really forced joke.
You're demoted.
What? Wait, we took down a dreadnought.
At what cost?
I know they have this arc for Poe, that he has to learn when to back up, but it doesn't make sense, because if he didn't destroy the dreadnought, well, later on, with the Force Order, the dreadnought will be in there when they follow them through lightspeed, and the dreadnought will have destroyed them. Therefore, it was a good idea for Poe to have taken out that dreadnought.
What is the point of all this if we can't blow up 3 tiny cruisers?
This movie cannot stop to point out how stupid it is.
It's just a matter of time.
And Ox goes with a less efficient plan. The Force Order could simply take half of his forces, jump to light speed, be ahead of the Resistance, and end this. Leia survived an explosion and being unconscious in a vacuum of space just because of the Force, and this doesn't look good at all too.
R2?
Hey, they remember that R2 is also in this movie.
I just want to know what's going on.
Of course you do. I understand. I've dealt with plenty of trigger-happy flyboys like you. You're impulsive, dangerous, and the last thing we need right now. So stick to your post and follow my orders.
This is not good leadership.
John,
Finn!
How long has it been since Force Awakens? Finn is now a hero? A famous hero? It feels like this movie is right after Force Awakens, so there's no way Finn is a hero after 2 days.
We can't outrun the First Order fleets.
We can jump to light speed.
Well, they can track us through light speed.
They can track us through light speed?
Yeah.
Rose doesn't know that the First Order can track through light speeds, but what does she think the Resistance is doing right now? Playing cat and mouse for fun?
Right now.
Mars, what is happening?
Union dispute. You do not want to hear about it.
Discount Yoda can fight, That didn't seem to be the case when the First Order was attacking her place in The Force Awakens. Rey has been on this planet for 2 days, and it's only now that we see these aliens?
We need you to bring the Jedi back because Kylo Ren is strong with the dark side of the Force. Without the Jedi, we won't stand a chance against him.
Why Rey does praising a guy that she beat?
That place was trying to show me something.
It offered something you needed. And you didn't even try to stop yourself.
And this is supposed to be something of the dark side?
The fleet's only got 18 hours of fuel left.
A plot that revolves around a ship chasing the other for 18 hours really slowly is not a good idea.
Red Claw Blue.
The Master Codebreaker!
Yep, those are the shuttle parkers.
And that's it for the Master Codebreaker. Great character. The movie's trying to convince me that this counts as a training.
It was a Jedi Master who was responsible for the training and creation of Darth Vader.
And a Jedi who saved him. Yes, the most hated man in the galaxy, but you saw there was conflict inside him. You believed that he wasn't gone, that he could be turned.
If Rey knows that Vader ended up being a good guy, then Kylo and Snoke do as well. It doesn't make sense for them to be obsessed with him.
He had vanished with a handful of my students.
That's the closest thing we have to a mention to the Knights of Ren. Seriously, where are these guys?
Leia blamed Snoke, but it was me.
And therefore the movie would totally discard how Snoke managed to convince Kylo to join the dark side.
The rest of our crew's been evacuated and heading your way. It's been an on-ramp mode.
Why didn't you evacuate too? You no longer have fuel. It's pointless to stay.
Fuel reserves at 6 hours. Maintain our current course. Steady on.
Later on we'll learn that she has a plan, but she's not giving the impression that she has one.
Codebreaker. Thief. I can do it.
They happen to be in jail with a codebreaker. Seriously? He could break out at any time. Why didn't he do it earlier? That.
Now it's worth it.
Rose is happy because they have released these creatures, but the people of Cantobite will simply capture them once again like they did in the first place, so you didn't solve anything. This movie has a serious problem about do you need a pilot or you don't. Here you clearly don't need a pilot because neither BB-8 or DG is piloting, but as seen previously, the captain is required on the ship for some reason and Aldo is required on the ship later on in the movie, so do you need a pilot or don't you? Make your goddamn mind, movie.
I should have felt trapped or panicked, but I didn't.
Why are we having narration now? To add simply narration for a single moment in a movie is a really strange thing. It feels awkward.
I'd never felt so alone.
Oh, so she was talking to Kylo Ren. That's why the narration. Still doesn't change that it feels awkward.
Stop!
Luke destroyed the house. Again, it feels really weird how it's been done.
Snoke had already turned his heart.
And again, let's not talk about how, because it's not important, I guess.
At the end of everything I love, because what he will become, for the briefest moment of pure instinct, I thought I could stop it.
And here we are. Luke went from the boy who wanted to save his father, even though the father did nothing but harm to the galaxy, but when it comes to his nephew, well, he thinks about killing him right off the bat. It doesn't make sense, it's not an interesting way to go for your character. Why has this been done? And even the movie is aware of this stupidity through speeches of Rey. So let's add a 10 cents for that. After that, Ben went on to kill the other Jedi, but we've seen that in The Force Awakens. He was already wearing his armor, already having his right lightsaber with Course Guard, and the Knights of Ren were already there. So it doesn't seem to fit with what we've just been told.
Master Yoda. Young Skywalker.
If Yoda is there as a ghost force, Why isn't Obi-Wan? Why isn't Anakin Skywalker? You can't just make one appear and not the others without a proper justification. And of course the movie is not going to provide us any. One of the big problems of this movie is that we learned that the Force can now do a billion new things that we had never seen before.
Yes, wisdom they held, but that library contained nothing that the girl Rey does not already possess.
Yoda confirms that you don't need training to be a Jedi.
The greatest teacher, failure is.
Another big problem here, in the original trilogy it was all about Luke being the new Jedi. More humble, more loving Jedi. He went on to surpass both Obi-Wan and Yoda. So to have Yoda being the wise man once again to teach Luke something just goes against the original trilogy. So for that, let's make it another 10 sin.
We had a fleet, now we're down to one ship and you've told us nothing. Tell us that we have a plan.
How are we supposed to root for Aldo here? We're not. She's just not giving any information to the people who think they are going to their doom. Not telling them the plan, even part of the plan, is terrible. Our leadership is atrocious.
You don't have to do this.
And again, another scene ripoff from the original trilogy. 5 cents.
Good time to figure out how we get back to the fleet?
I know where the nearest escape pods are.
Of course you do.
The movie knows it's bullshit that Finn knows everything there is to know about the First Order and their ships.
FN 2187.
Hey, they remember Phasma is in this movie too.
That one's a troublemaker. I like him.
You failed to show us that by not trusting him.
For the transports to escape, someone needs to stay behind and pilot the cruiser.
Again, this issue with needing a pilot. Why? Don't you have droids that can do that? See, she's the only one left now, and she's sure as hell not piloting.
You underestimate Skywalker, and Ben Solo, and me. It will be your downfall.
Again, a ripoff from what Luke said to the Emperor. 5 cents.
It was I who breached your minds.
I get it with Kylo, but how can Snoke connect with Rey? He never saw her once, and she's really far away. And another new power to the Force.
Aldo knew the First Order was tracking our big ship. They're not monitoring for little transports.
So we could slip down to the surface unnoticed and hide till the First Order passes. That could work.
See, once you explain fully the plan to Poe, he'll agree to it.
She was more interested in protecting the light than she was seeming like a hero.
Come on, movie, you can come up with better excuse than that one. You know, you're afraid of a spy, something, but not that crap.
But we checked on the information from the thief. We ran a decloaking scan, and sure enough, 30 resistance transports had just launched from the cruiser.
You'll think they'll be running this scan really often in order to not miss any invisible ship, but I guess they don't.
Look here now. The entire resistance on those transports. Soon they will all be gone.
And another ripoff. 5 cents.
Complete your training and fulfill your destiny.
Kylo Ren already has killed a lot of people. Why killing Rey will make any difference at all?
And kills his true enemy.
Despite the fact that Snoke was the most powerful Force user we have seen, he's easily defeated by a little trick. What was this guard waiting for?
Rey, I want you to join me. We can rule together and bring a new order to the galaxy.
Since Snoke is dead and then we are in the middle chapter of a trilogy, of course Kylo Ren wasn't going to be a good guy, so no surprise there. And this is also a ripoff from The Empire Strikes Back, so 5 cents.
They're filthy junk traders. We sold you off for drinking money.
If Rey's parent did sell her for drinking money, then she would have been a slave, right? And yet she wasn't a slave in The Force Awakens. What's the excuse for Kylo Ren not overpowering her this time around? This is a really great looking scene, but you have to ask yourself, why hasn't this been used before? For example, against a Death Star. And of course, that huge attack didn't kill anyone important, let it be Rey, Kylo, Ox, Phasma, Rose, or Finn. Why is Phasma no longer having a blaster? And her armor is blaster proof? Why is she the only one having this one? And Captain Phasma is wasted once more.
Let's finish this.
Finish this? Who do you think you're talking to? You presume to command my army? Our supreme leader is dead. We have no ruler.
The Supreme Leader is dead.
Long live the supreme leader.
Did Ox forget that Kylo can use the Force?
They're coming. Shut the door.
Why did you wait before shutting out the door?
A battering ram cannon.
Starkiller Base, a Dreadnought, Snoke ships, lots of Star Destroyers. No matter what the loss, it doesn't seem to affect the First Order at all.
Salt.
Just because it's salt and not snow doesn't mean that this thing is not too similar to the one on Hoth. 5 sins. And The Force Awakens, it was Finn who was doing the shooting, so therefore it is the first time that Rey's doing in this. And once again, she's way too good at it. There are so many things wrong here. Why wasn't Finn shot down? He was the only target left. And how the hell did Rose manage to catch up to him? She was far behind. And she crashed him so hard that could have both killed him.
Why would you stop me?
I saved you. Tell me. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
When Luke is going to sacrifice himself in order for the Resistance to gain some time, it's okay. But when it's Finn doing it, it's not, because... unnecessary love story, and with no chemistry at all.
But the galaxy has lost all its hope.
This movie cannot shut up about hope, and so was Rogue One, so after 2 movies, I'm getting tired of hope. This movie will give us hints that this is only a projection, and yet this projection can block the light.
I came to face him, Leia.
Luke's plan is to gain some time for the Resistance, and yet he's here talking with Leia because he knows that he still has some time ahead of him.
That's enough.
That's enough!
Do you think you got him? No.
Kylo Ren has beat Luke a while ago. He has beat and killed Snoke. Why is he afraid of Luke now?
No, we are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Please don't quote Aldo. She was a stupid leader. Don't try to convince me otherwise, movie.
There's gotta be a way out of this mine. Hell, how did he get in here?
That's it.
Here's a script where our characters are going to be lucky because there will be an escape. And a movie based on luck is not a good movie to me.
The rebellion is reborn today.
How? They launched a distress signal to the whole galaxy and no one answered. They are not reborn, they are on a dying hand. Rey herself seems to be surprised that she managed to do it, and terrible CGI rocks. Is Kylo Ren supposed to be a character that's not evolving? He's killing lots of people and yet he's still the same unstable child. And now he is the biggest threat our heroes have to face? And when you think, hey, it's great, Luke is back to his former self, he's gonna be a lot useful in episode 9, he just died. If the Force projection was a so demanding process, perhaps not waste time to go see Leia. Who is doing this connection this time around? Snoke's dead, unless he isn't? You can create objects with the Force now. The fact that they hug now doesn't correct the fact that they didn't hug in The Force Awakens.
Hi.
Hey,
I'm Poe.
right.
Movie realizes that by the end of the second chapter of a trilogy, two of our main characters don't even know each other. Wasn't the message of the film that the books are not important? What is important is who you are and your feelings. So why the book are still here? What's the point?
Luke is gone. I felt it. But it wasn't sadness or pain, it was peace and purpose.
In a movie that's already too long, this scene doesn't describe us anything that we don't know.
How do we build a rebellion from this?
We have everything we need.
No, you don't! Please, movie, don't try to justify the Volcanto bite thing, and I don't care about this kid.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.